Now that the beautiful and rare 1967 Hemi GTX convertible is completely restored, it's being loaded onto the trailer to be delivered to its owner in Las Vegas. The owner, Brett Torino, flew in for the reveal and was blown away by the Ghoul's attention to detail. But just when the Ghouls thought they might be finished, there's another car ready to be delivered. Take it away, Mark.
Our 1972 Dodge Charger SE 400 Magnum 4-speed, one of only 126 ever built, is near completion. Once Dave and Alyssa install the interior, all that'll be left is an electrical systems check, a complete detail, and we can have the owner down for his initial inspection and road test.
On this episode of Graveyard Carz, Alyssa applies everything she's learned over the last 13 weeks when it's up to her to install the interior in the 1972 Gold Charger. The Ghouls wrestle with how far they can prep the car, knowing that the owner wants to be the first person to drive it. Meanwhile, while attempting to disassemble a 1971 Cuda convertible, Mark and Royal run into problem after problem. And in the middle of the heat, Brett Torino sends Mark and the gang an unexpected surprise. Coming up on this episode of Graveyard Carz.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It has been established that the unburied dead are coming back to life.
I'm Mark Warman, and together we bring dead muscle cars back to life, to exactly the way they were on the day they were born.
This station will remain on the air day and night.
We're working on our 1972 Dodge Charger SE 400 Magnum 4-speed, one of 126 built, which is really cool. We got our dash in from Instrument Specialties, and it's amazing. So that's basically what we're going to install today.
I have not worked on dashes before. This is my first time, so I'm pretty excited. I think this is the last piece of the interior that I need to learn.
Done.
Is this pretty standard for a dash, or?
Yeah, it's a pretty standard dash for 72 Dodge Charger SE.
Pretty one too. I like all the chrome.
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, and I'm going to walk through. So
as far as the door opens?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
These doors are huge. You just keep walking in. Sure. Okay, how you doing? Okay?
Doing good.
Now I want to kind of tip this towards you.
Okay.
You can go ahead and get in there. I'm going to try to hook these up. This is the complicated part. I got to get this cable on there.
Do all dashes install the same?
Yeah, basically all these Mopars install the same. For the most part, it's all just like it's showing there.
What
Sorry
are you
about that. I know
hooking
you're
up right
probably
now?
getting tired. I'm hooking up the cables for the defroster. So let me move this down. So right now I'm just kind of getting all the...
Oh, take your time.
Just came in this morning, went to head to the booth to get some parts and pieces painted, and there's a motor sitting in there. Looks like it's ready to be sprayed. I like Mark to really sign off on these motors, so I need to get him out here just to look this motor over and make sure it's actually ready to paint. Marcus, looking all over for you.
I've been right here putting engines together.
There's a motor sitting in the paint booth.
That you've painted already.
Nope.
It's an engine, but yes.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
Is it ready to go?
Your green light, go to paint it. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to know what color you're going to paint it?
I know.
Oh, you do? What color are you going to paint
Orange.
it? Mike, can you get Walter Chrysler on the phone?
I got him right here.
All right.
I don't think there's such thing as a short answer with Mark. Everything seems to go on and on forever. You think I would have learned this by now, but I thought I would be safe with the motor. I wasn't. I just know that
You should be able to walk into that booth and based on the alphanumeric codes stamped onto it, you've been here long enough now that you wouldn't need to know what car it's for. It's an E440. What color does it go?
Orange.
Mike, all E440s go orange?
69.
How do you know 69 is an E code?
Well, because I know the F is a 70.
Uh-huh.
So 1 year before that would be
All right.
69.
What if it wasn't an HP 440?
It doesn't matter. Still got the same
Oh, they wouldn't paint it turquoise, a low performance 440? Starting in 1965, Chrysler would stamp the information pad with an alpha letter A, representing 1965. It would have a B for 66, a C for 67, a D for 68, and so on up till the time it trailed off somewhere in the mid to late 70s. If this was a low performance 1971 383, it would get blue, the corporate blue they called it. Same thing in 70. All right, go over here to this little stamp. See that stamp right there? Mm-hmm. What's it say?
H.
And next to it?
P.
And what do you reckon that stands for?
High performance.
High performance, high performance. All right, so we have a 1971 383 high performance engine, goes Hemi orange.
Okay.
All right, what year is the one? I'll be right back. I've got to take him to school real quick.
This here
What's that
actually
for?
sits through the firewall, and then all your wiring, like for your headlights, all your engine wiring and everything plugs into this bulkhead. So you can see all your fuses and they're marked, like for heater, radio, and stuff like that. So if you blow a fuse, this is where you come to see, which fuse you've blown. So this is like the whole brains of the operation. Everything right here, and everything plugs into it.
The dash installation went flawlessly. We didn't have any problems. It went right in.
Sometimes they give us a lot of trouble, especially if the frame's a little bent. This one here happened to go right in, so it was really nice.
Yeah, not only have I learned a lot, but I've also appreciate now, and I pay attention to detail.
All we got to do is drop our steering column in. Steering column will basically, finish out the dashboard. Then after that, we got our A-pillar moldings and some upper trim, and of course the seats, which you're a pro at putting in, so that'll be all yours.
As long as you're nearby, so if I have any questions, I feel confident in being able to do it.
On an RB engine, a 413, a 426, or a 440, they have this pad up here. So if you walk in here bright and early, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you look at that, you see that code right there with 440 behind it. What year is this engine?
Well, A was 65.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So B was 66.
Yes, sir.
C was 67.
Look at them go.
D was 68.
Yeah.
And then E is 69.
Perfect. And if you look down here in this lower corner, do you see those little two letters there? What do they say?
I see an H.
There you go. And a P.
I'm assuming that's P.
Nice. It's a P. That's a high performance 69. So this one goes the Hemi orange.
And what car is this for?
This goes for a 1969 Dodge Charger General Lee
Nice.
01. Yep. I, unlike the rest of the shop, am way ahead in mine. I have engines and transmissions built out for the next 25 cars coming.
Mike does.
And Mike hasn't done anything.
God, he's got a lot done, hasn't he?
He doesn't have anything done. I've put all these engines together. The majority of the front ends, Mike has helped me a lot. Vanishing Point Challenger, which you haven't even seen the body for yet. We got the engine built out. Brewers is sending us the transmission and all the front suspensions built out for it. Brett Torino 70 Coronet RT convertible 426 Hemi. This is completely built out. We're just waiting for Brewers to send us the shifter and then that'll be done. Zinc 70 Yellow Roadrunner. This is the one that just moved into the body shop that actually has the quarters and stuff getting done on it right now. I've already got the front suspension and rear suspension built out with the drive shaft and the torsion bars. And then I'm building the engine for it right now, the 383 for it. This is the money room. This is the room that makes it all happen. 1969 Roadrunner 426 Hemi automatic for Wallace. This is all built out. Rear end's built with the correct 10-inch rear drums on it. The disc brakes in the front. The Hemi transmission I've actually got built out. I'm just waiting for that engine to come back from the machine shop. So anyway, this is the magic
All right, well,
room.
maybe I won't pick on you for a little while.
Don't pick on me and Mickey. Mickey's doing a good job over here, putting a 383 together.
2 hours later, I now have the answer. It does go orange, so I'm going to head in the booth and start spraying it.
With the owner only days away, Alyssa is tasked with installing the 1972 Charger's interior.
I'm done.
Wow.
It was way easier with the adjustable.
That was fast. It took you like, what, 5 minutes to do that?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
That
The
was
trick
fast.
is getting the side in that isn't adjustable, the tracks.
Oh,
getting
yeah.
those in, and then makes it really easy.
This is cool.
Yeah, you have a lot of room.
Yeah.
Big.
Awesome. Nice job.
Thanks.
Beautiful. Good job.
So what else do you need help with to get this finished up?
Right now, you can put in your kick panels and put in your sill plates, and that'll kind of button up the entire floor. The only problem is those kick panels, one of them's really sun-baked. So we're going to try to do a little process, try a new process, actually, with the walnut shells, because we have a new blaster with walnut shells in there, so we're going to try to fix up that plastic and make it like new.
The most desirable muscle car made by Mopar of all time would have to be the 71 Hemi Cuda convertible. making only 11 of them. They sell for millions of dollars. This 1971 Cuda convertible has a 340 and a 3-speed manual transmission, making it one of only 8 ever built. The disassembly of this rare, valuable, and desirable muscle car begins now. We got the windshield and the reveal moldings off, but the problem is people back in the day especially, car leaks, it can't be anything but the windshield. It can't be the cowl pivots, it can't be the dash, it can't be the cowl itself, it can't be the fact they left the top down in the rain. It's gotta be that windshield. So they just start doping it up with more and more sealer. So you have inches and mountains of sealer. Then they glue the reveal moldings in because they busted half the clips taking them out, and they go, well, the man that owns this doesn't need to know about that. Why don't we just put a little urethane in there and pat it back down? And it isn't until 40 years later when the fat man, the bald guy, and my best friend Mike start taking this car apart that we realize it's been glued together. I'm done with my rant. We're ready to drop the dash down out of it. That's a good thing. Sorry about the bald thing. I lashed out because I was mad over this.
Okay.
But I caught it before I got to you.
And that's fine with me.
That's self-control. See, that's self-control. So with them getting the dash out of it here in a couple of minutes, we're going to be able to move on to the rest of the disassembly. It should go a lot faster from here. That windshield really slowed us down.
All right, so we got our motor here for the General Lee. It is all going completely Hemi orange. So it's all ready to go. That was good information that Mark gave us with the little numbers that are up there. All in all, that's still a couple hours worth of talking to him before I got the actual color for this. But I got it, motor's in here, everything's good to go. So I can go ahead and get the DP90 on this and then start to hit it with the single stage. But there's not much left. So I didn't even check my cabinet, but there's a very solid chance we're out of single stage. That means I have to order more. Well, poop. We realized I didn't have any color, so. Well, that's it. I had to order that. So we're kind of at a standstill. It's in DP90, so that's fine.
All right. Well, I got some Scotch-Brite.
All right.
Yeah, how's it looking?
I think it's looking good.
All right. Thing's pretty cool, huh? The
Yeah,
blaster.
it's fun too.
Oh, wow, that looks a lot better. Oh, yeah, that looks really cool. Well, let's kind of see what the Scotch-Brite does. And you don't have to push really hard. Kind of run it on there. But you see how we still got all the grain from the plastic in there?
You know, we were talking about the fact that the Carz is stripper. They didn't even care about having the electric windshield washer, so that's what this is. So instead of having the button on the dash that you would push for the windshield washers, like in the B-body or in the E-body, in this particular case, you would have a foot pump. You would physically pump that to get the fluid up onto the windshield. They didn't have any effort at all on the 3-speed even to make it cool. Like, why couldn't they have built a pistol grip 3-speed? But that's what it is. It's just a straight chrome shaft with a ball on the end of it. The bezel is the exact same one that you would have if you had a pistol grip 4-speed, but the boot itself is different because this has a round hole in it and the pistol grip is that oblong center hole in it. But yeah, just some kind of interesting little tidbits there that make this car so unique and yet in some ways very undesirable, but now that it's 45, 50 years later,
It's all cool.
it's all cool. Yeah, it's all the kind of stuff. Because if we saw stuff like that as a kid, we say, oh, pass on that. It's got a 3-speed and you got to pump the foot to get washer fluid up on the windshield. But now looking back, it's kind of a cool part of history. So I'd like to point out is how nice it is to work on a small block. Look at the room in there. Remember the last one we put in, a 440? Every square inch in the way in, just everything's tight. You got to rock it and walk it. Just like a piece of cake. Look at that big old cavity in there just swallowing up that 340. Just like your first girlfriend. For a daily driver, there's not a thing in the... Don't interrupt people, punk.
Fat old guy.
Oh, I'm fat. What about you, Muffin Belly? Look at you.
Hey, along with age comes wisdom.
You got better breasts than my wife, man.
Back off. I seen that look before. Back off.
They turned out great. It got all the old plastic off, and underneath was great black new plastic. So looks like we're gonna be able to save the piece.
Yeah, it looked great. So all we got to do is get those A-pillar moldings in, windshield surround, then we'll work down to our kick panels.
The kick panel went in really well. The seal plate, I had a little bit of trouble with lining up the holes and getting the carpet underneath it. And I think at one point I thought I had gotten 4 screws in, and then I lifted it up and the whole thing came undone. What the?
Did it just
So I
pop
guess
right
none
up?
of them were.
None of them were.
And I realized I didn't get any of those in, so I had to start over.
Yeah.
So something so simple can take like half hour, 45 minutes just to get a few screws in. It can be kind of frustrating sometimes.
It is frustrating. These cars will fight you every step of the way. All right, so what do you say we knock out our visors?
That sounds good.
And then we're just about there.
Are these the original?
Yeah, these are the original ones. He wanted to use, as many of the original parts as he could. Okay, now this deal, the little spring, will actually go up through the big hole.
Right here?
Yep.
Oh, there we go.
You can kind of see
Yeah.
one's just a little safer. All right, cool. So I got mine in there, and whoop, look at that. That much closer to driving it too, which is always nice. So awesome. The interior is pretty much put in, which is great. So the next steps is just a couple little things here and there, and then the windshield. And the windshield will go fast. All we got around that is just some stainless steel molding, and then I just got to put the wiper arms on.
Oh, wow.
So it's really close.
With the interior installed, this 1972 Charger is nearly ready for the owner's arrival and its first test drive.
Ouch. All right. Everything. Okay. Everything's just been a complete pain in the ass on this car. And it's because take some cars apart, they've never been touched. You're better off with a car that's never been touched than one that's been touched from the standpoint of disassembly. Because every bolt has been stripped and lost and changed out for the wrong bolt. We've took out lag bolts out of here, wood screws out of here. It just takes forever to do that. Something that's normally a half-a-day job takes all day long, and that's what we're struggling with right now. You can see lots of body work's been done on this car. I'll do you a little magic right here. You guys ready for some magic? We're gonna debondo this thing. That's where somebody just fills it up with Bondo and fiberglass and says, wow, look at that, isn't that pretty? This, folks, is what they Bondoed over. That's how you can tell somebody's been there. I'd rather walk up to a car and just see the hole and know I'm buying a car with a hole in it than something like that. So once the torsion bars are disconnected like this, really it's just a matter of lowering it down out of the cavity. Same way we put it back in when we do the reverse.
All right, you're clear. That is such a giant piece of everything.
It is. So really all we've got left, we got to take a couple of the rear moldings off around the convertible top and take the taillights out of it, and then it's ready to go over and get dipped. So we'll be anxious to see what it looks like when it gets back, but it's pretty close to ready. Good job.
Now that the 1971 Cuda convertible has been dissected, Mark gathers all hands on deck to help him unload the trailer. After Mike delivered the Hemi GTX, Brett Torino donated a trailer full of rare and valuable parts to Mark and the Ghouls.
I want to count and inventory every component. I want to put a mental note as to what it is, where it is, what condition it's in. Once that's done, they're going to load everything up into the pod up there. That's what they're building shelves for now. That way it can be under lock and key and away from everybody. The only time a part will come out of there is with my authorization and my key to the lock. The guys are doing good. So is that's all that's left is that part right up there? Okay.
So are you gonna go through these yourself?
I'm gonna go through every one of these myself, get my head on it, decide what it's worth, if it's worth something. See this little critter right here? This is an original Daytona jack. This is the one that goes underneath the front end that is always missing out of the trunks. Uh-huh. I'm going to just guess that You might get $2,000 out of that jack.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's just as rare as hen's teeth. Nobody's making them. That's a nice, nice piece. That's just one of many of them. I'm seeing these look like Cuda convertible trim panels right here, which are really hard to find, and they do make new reproductions of them, which are fair, but they're not great. So he's got a lot of this stuff marked already, and I'm gonna have to open it and check it. But he's got convertible door glass for the E-bodies. Looks like 2 sets of them there.
I recognize that little mirror, side mirror.
These are cool. These are 71 Cuda. These are original front valance fillers. So if these are uncracked, these are really nice. They do make reproductions, but they're not nearly as nice as an original.
There's a ton of parts here. I'm here to make sure that they get inventoried the right way, to make sure everything's accounted for, and that they get put in the storage units the right way. So
stuff right there.
there's a lot of valuable stuff. I don't really know a whole lot about them, but as I get to go through them with my dad, I am learning. So it's a great experience to be able to go through them.
Holy cow. That is a gift that he said was coming. He said he had some original parts books. God. See, that's the difference between his books and my books. See,
Yeah, they look original.
when he, well, no, thank you for playing.
Well, I mean, they just look old. Like,
Well, mine look old too, but can I finish my sentence? You're a sentence finisher, aren't you? You're a sentence
I
finisher.
guess.
Yeah. These are in almost mint condition. Mine have been rolled over and set at the bottom of a manure pile for 20 years. This is a nice original. I don't know what year until I open it, but I'm gonna guess 66, 67. 66, yeah. This is a complete original parts manual for the 1966 passenger cars, Dodge passenger cars. But look at all the
Wow.
tabs. If you look at mine, my tabs are all ripped off and gnawed off and chewed off and burned. This thing has everything nicely tabbed and categorized. So this is really exciting for me. It may not mean much to you because you don't know what they all are, but for me, this is a treasure trove of really valuable parts. I mean, this is cool. If I went to a swap meet and saw this stuff, I'd go home broke. I'd have to have it all. So I'm gonna let him finish taking everything out because I'm literally on a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna wanna unwrap it before we put it into storage. I need to put my eye on it. One guy's version of mint condition, or mink, as Andy would say, and another guy's is different. So I wanna make sure what condition the parts are in, what ones I need now for the cars that we actually have here, and then we'll reconvene back out here. So you're gonna continue helping him unload?
yep.
Okay.
So Radiator Supply House just got here and they're getting ready to do the stencil work on top of this radiator. So the owner wanted the top of his radiator painted at least to say 1 of 126. So at least when he's at car shows, he can open up the hood and people will know that, hey, it's still kind of a rare car. It's kind of cool with what they did on the radiator because he's kind of done little touches to it to make it his own. So we don't do a lot of that here, but on this car we did. So it's a little unique in that aspect.
Meanwhile, outside the shop, Mark and Alyssa continue to toil over the inventory for Torino's donation.
We've been out here now for
7 hours.
7 hours checking in parts, and we're getting it whittled down. The main stuff, we've got glass left and some of the bigger sheet metal and some wheels, but all the little stuff, the stuff that takes so long to label and print and mark, which is what I'm doing, so we have a quality inventory of everything. That's what takes so long. I've gone through, I think, 100 and some tags already. So what she does is she checks it. What's it say it is?
Tag 183 is for a complete NOS grill for a 1970 Barracuda.
Okay, mark it off, but note that the left-hand front park lamp is missing. Missing one park lamp. And what number is it, 183?
183.
So I've got it over here. This one's all one unit. This is all part of an NOS 1970 Cuda grill. This stuff's gold.
At this point, I feel like I have been at an auction all day where I've just been hearing numbers being yelled at me, and my job is to basically check them. So they're not in order though. So I have about 8 pages of numbers that aren't in any order that every time I hear one, I just have to go through it and find it. So anyways, I'm ready for this to be done. I feel like we're never gonna be finished. I look back and I just feel like there has been little progress made yet. We've been sitting here for hours, so.
We've unloaded so much stuff, a lot of NOS stuff, good quality used stuff that definitely is going to help a lot of cars get back on the road again. The good news is we're really winding down quickly here. We're going to try to wrap this up yet today. If we don't, we'll have to knock it out first thing in the morning, but we're getting really, really close.
Before the 1972 Charger's first test drive, Royal makes preparations to do the alignment.
What's the first step in this process, Royal? I mean, I know.
Hang these sensors on, and
Okay.
when we do, since those are aftermarket billet wheels, we can clamp, I think we can clamp to the outside.
Okay.
We can turn these over and clamp to the outside.
Neither, we don't have to worry about scratching them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what's the trick with doing these older Mopars as opposed to the new cars?
The older cars have a caster adjustment, a camber adjustment, and a toe-in adjustment. Where your newer cars, a lot of them only have a toe adjustment. Some of them only have a camber and toe adjustment.
Oh, wow. So, Royal, after we get these sensors mounted on the wheels, what's the next step of the process?
We'll look up the specs, and then the computer will have us do a caster sweep.
Oh, gotcha. So that's just kind of checking where the car's at. It's
Yes.
kind of giving it a starting point.
Yes. The alignment came out fine. Really, the test will be when the customer drives it. He doesn't want us to take it out of the lot till he gets here, so we're gonna have to wait for the real test. I'll be able to drive around the lot and get kind of a feel for it. Make sure the steering wheel's straight at least.
The 72 Charger's alignment is complete, and coincidentally, Mark and Alyssa are finally ready to wrap up the inventory on Torino's donation.
It's a huge relief to finally have this done and have the parts up there. I mean, it took us over a day to get them all inventoried.
When you're inventorying in that many parts, that many pieces, some of them very small, most of them, or a majority of them, new, old stock, super valuable, it just takes time. And that's what we experienced, you know, putting everything away is you got to check it, see what they called it, make sure it's what they called it, make sure it's a new old stock and not just a used one. There were quite a few mistakes like that. Make sure the part's there or it's not there, it's damaged or it's not damaged. There's just a lot goes into it. And like I say, when you have a trailer that came back full of parts, it's a big job. We powered through it, we got it done. The guys are just getting ready to upload a couple of pieces, and that's going to be it for the end of that. These are ready to be lifted up and go in, okay, and you've counted for all those, the 603 and the 605s.
Yeah.
This stuff here, I just want to put aside for right now. It can be lifted up and put in the bin and just kept in a corner. This is the no value stuff, but in case Brett wants some of it back for something, I've got my stuff over there. That's going to go up into the assembly room because we actually have parts in there right now that we're needing for cars that we're working on, like the Phantom Cuda needs the bi-Plymouth, which is impossible to find. And then I'll padlock that door, come down, and nobody gets in there except me with the key.
Are you actually gonna go up on the ladder and padlock it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the best part, to see my dad actually crawl up the ladder and lock the door. You don't like heights, you don't like water, you really don't like anything. But heights is definitely one of the top
Okay. I like the ground.
3 things.
I like the ground. I'm not a fan of water. I'm not a fan of flying. I've never done it. I'm not a fan of heights. But at the same time, I do what I have to do. That's what I do, right? Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm scared for you. How you doing? Wish I had my phone.
Yeah, that'd be
Take a
funny.
picture of this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's right there, Daddy. Short legs.
No problem. Is there a problem?
You did great. Good job.
With the massive parts donation inventoried and the 72 Charger aligned, the car is ready for a systems check.
The guys finished doing alignment. I saw you and Roy were working on that.
Yep.
We're gonna do a basic systems check. The owner of the car, Murray, does not want me to drive the car without him for the first time. He wants to be in the driver's seat for its maiden voyage. I understand that, so we're not going out on the road. We're just gonna kind of buzz it around the parking lot.
Yep.
Make sure the brakes, the steering, if something's gonna happen galactic, it's always great if they happen in the parking lot versus out on the road somewhere.
Exactly.
Inside check,
Yeah.
fire it up.
Yep, there you go.
Horn blows.
Yep.
Shifter feels good.
It doesn't feel bad.
That's a Brewer's rebuild there.
Yeah.
Reverse is nice. First. Power steering feels good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Just watch your brake.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
So far, everything's going real well on our 72 Charger. Seems to be driving around well. Steering feels good. For the most part, all the systems are working too. The only thing I'm noticing is that when I go to apply the brakes, that they are harder to push than the typical power brake booster setups that I've driven on the Mopars. Now, that ranges too a little bit. Just so you know, the Bendix style 70 in back actually has more assist, it feels like, than the 71 on up Midland Ross.
It just seems like the brakes just don't have that power assist like they should. They're working properly, but you just gotta apply too much foot pressure. So we're thinking it might be a brake booster, so.
Power brake booster is a big vacuum can. Until you hit the brake to energize it, it doesn't use that vacuum. But then when it's ready for it, it gives you that assist. Right now, we're not getting that assist. It feels like you're driving the car, not with manual brakes, which aren't too hard to push, but power brakes that aren't working. That's what it acts like. We're gonna just take this is a vacuum gauge. This is gonna show us our inches of vacuum as this goes up. So this has fuel pressure on one side and it has vacuum on the other. I will hook this to this port, just a little adapter setup. And if you want to hold that right there, I'll get it started and I'll be back. I'm going to start the vehicle. Do not defecate yourself. It's a vehicle starting. Nobody wants to see a defecation.
I wanted to do something so bad.
Defecation, devotion, turning on the night light anyway, and after all the violence and double talk. That's a song. I don't think it's defecation though. Should be. You hear that bumpity bump back there? That boom, 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 boom. That's a big cam. Yeah, there you go. This gauge is supposed to be all the way down here in the green, all right? The only way to probably get it there is to open the throttle. That's the problem. We've got too big a cam, too long of a duration, so we're not creating the vacuum that we would get up here. That thing's only getting 7 inches of vacuum. It needs 14, 15, 16 in that range to be able to function properly.
Okay.
So the only way I can achieve that kind of pressure without scattering the engine is the natural process that happens when an engine is revved up to 3,000 RPM and you close the butterflies on that. So I'm open like this, and then I close it. When I close it, it's like choking somebody out. You ever choke anybody out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like choking somebody out, and so that vacuum goes off the charts for a second till it catches up and back. Well, you can't drive that way. You're meant to drive the car like a normal person would drive the car. So when he's in an idle, he doesn't even have enough to even make these work hardly.
So he's basically driving without power brakes?
He's driving with a semi-power, about 50% is what I think. In fact, if you didn't know your Mopars, you probably wouldn't even know there's a problem with that. I just know that 71 to 74 style Midland power brake booster, it really is designed to have a lot of assist to it. So I think what we need to do is call him and say, what do you want me to do? You want to be a little Nancy and tap out and take that nice schnarler cam out of there? Or do you want to man up, start doing some leg exercises now and drive the car?
Is that actually how you're gonna ask him?
No, I'll probably just tell him how it's gonna be, to be honest with you.
He seems a little ornery. I don't know if
well,
he'd like that
you know,
very
I think he
much.
thinks he's a tough guy, but you know, up in Canada, they think they are till they scrap with a Springfielder. You think this is a game? You think that's a game?
Old man arm.
That ain't old. Look, I still got a little something. I don't have no gobbler going down here.
Got some weird
Her
extra.
skin's wrinkly.
Oh my God.
Yep, that's
Are
it
we
for
done?
her. She'll be off to
Are
a
we done?
psychiatrist now. We're done.
It's always so much fun.
Now that the paint has arrived, Will is able to spray the iconic General Lee's high-performance engine. The engines used in the General Lee varied from show to show. 318s, 383s, and 440s were all used depending on the requirements of the scene. With the exception of the Dukes of Hazzard motion picture, a 426 Hemi was never used. However, once in the TV series, a 511 Hemi was employed, which is a package mod added to the 426.
Motor's all painted, looks great.
With the engine finished, Will rejoins the ghouls to do the final polish on the 72 Charger before its big reveal.
This is the first time I've ever had a client say, nobody drives that car but me for the first time. After that, you have a ball. It's his car, he's the customer, I kept his wishes. But you know, anything can happen. A multitude of things can happen when you have that many moving parts on a car that's just been back together for the first time in many, many years.
Dave always jumps on the inside, does all the interior. I jump on the outside, tires, wheel, glass. This car has a lot of stainless on it you have to get the fingerprints off of. Dave has to go through, wipe down the whole inside of the car, do all the glass on the inside. So it's kind of a team effort for us to get this car done, but that's how we've done them in the past, and they always come out great. Inside and out, the car is literally perfect. I think the owner's gonna come in, be super excited to have it, and go on his road trip.
So we're ready to go.
Murray Gooding's called. He's just down around the corner, so I'm gonna go up front and wait for him. Make sure that the car's on the side and warmed up and ready to go.
My name's Murray Goodings, and I got a 1972 Dodge Charger here at Graveyard Cars. My dad bought a 71 Charger when I was a little guy, and through a divorce and everything else, that car went missing, and it's a car I grew up in, so I always wanted one. I spotted this one on a highway near where I live, and got a hold of him, made a deal, bought the car that night, and took it home. So that was about 10 years ago.
How was the trip down from
Really good.
Canada, eh? Good
I
stuff,
drove for a
eh?
couple hours, and I gave him the keys, and I went to sleep.
Did you really?
There
Nice. You look good. Yeah, in good shape, huh? Everything going good?
I did the chemo diet, so I'm still keeping
That's all
that
right.
shape.
You look good. Yeah, good job, man.
I was diagnosed with cancer approximately 2 years ago and went through all the treatment and everything, and they cured it all, and my only loss is one vocal cord, so I can still live life as I love to, and it's all good.
So you've been thinking about it a little bit, getting kind of excited?
Oh, it's like day to day, it's crazy.
I think you're gonna like it, and I think it's gonna be really, really well worth waiting.
Okay.
I want everybody to go out front. I'm gonna go around and get the car.
To see it actually on wheels and rolling and moving under its own power is going to be very, very exciting.
All right, you excited to see your car?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You excited? Oh yeah. Mark's got it around the corner here, so.
Right now, the guys are all waiting out front for it. So I'm pulled over here waiting for the queue. Kind of a little behind the scenes thing there for you, throw you a little bone.
Hey, Mark,
So
we're ready for you, buddy.
yeah, go ahead.
Sounds like the dog's ready over there.
Anyway, as they kind of wait out there, you know, it's kind of like the father, I guess, waiting for his bride to walk down the aisleway. It's a pretty proud moment for him. I don't take any of this stuff lightly. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those things.
Waiting for you up here.
Yeah, I get that, Will. I get that. Okay, just I'm doing a thing. I'm doing a bit. You know, when the day comes to an end and everybody's gone home. I think these are the times that you want to remember. These are the times you want to cherish, you know. So I don't mind that we kind of make a to-do of this, because if you didn't make.
Mark, are you doing that thing where, you know, the camera's on you, so you're being silly and.
So anyway, what I'm saying is, if you look at the whole total of it, my job.
You know, he came down a long ways, and I got him out front here waiting. It's 100 degrees outside. You're not too busy.
Not trying to stand up in front of everybody. Anyway, yeah. So let's ruin this moment.
Oh yeah, here's some. All right, well, thanks. He's waiting.
Oh man, listen to that thing.
Sounds like a Honda.
Yeah, you wish.
Boy, doesn't that sound good?
How good that looks in the sun, too.
Boy, doesn't it look amazing outside?
That's amazing, buddy. That is friggin' awesome.
You know, I think I've only seen it outside once. That's actually really pretty. That is a gorgeous color. That is a gorgeous color.
I gotta say, buddy, that's awesome.
When people are almost speechless, that's generally the best sign.
Yeah.
It means they like it.
Most definitely. I mean, inside, it gave it no justice at all.
Exactly.
But boy, you get that paint out in the sunlight, and boy, it really.
It's almost like a different
popped.
car when you get it out in the sunlight. You have the chrome shining, you have the glitter and the gold paint sticking out that you can't really even see in the shop. So it looked like a totally different car pulling around the front. It looked beautiful.
Did you see what we had done for you?
That looks really, really cool.
I bet your dad is very happy with this car right now.
I'm sure he's watching right now.
He was loving he had a 71, right?
Yeah, he had a 71 SE with a 440 automatic. That thing smoked Camaros and everything else that came up against him.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it a bit. What concerns me is he wouldn't let me drive the car ahead of time. So we're going on an initial maiden voyage in his car, and it just hasn't been on the road.
And that's not made up. We have not driven this car.
We have not driven the car. He would not allow me to drive the car. Yeah, have a seat there. What do you think of that shift handle?
That's gorgeous.
Isn't that pretty?
I had the pistol grip shifter hand carved out of a piece of hardwood burl, which is a cancer that grows in trees in the Northwest, which adds to, my dad being a faller. And so I thought it'd be cool to have the pistol grip carved out of real wood and ship that to the woodworker. And he made me a set of just beautiful grips for my pistol grip. So 2 little tributes in the car for my dad. So.
And as per your instruction, we have not been on a road test. So the initial road test needs to be done by you. And I sincerely wish you the best.
All right.
Hope it all works out for you.
It'll all be good, I'm
Normally
sure.
I road test them. That way when the wheels fly off at 60 miles an hour, I'm the guy that looks bad. But
That's okay. I've seen some of the stuff you've done. You can fix anything that goes wrong
I can fix anything that goes wrong.
It was nerve-wracking, but it was awesome. Car drove smooth, straight. It was just super easy. You didn't have to fight it, nothing. It's just straight line, change lanes, real nice. Really nice acceleration. A little bit on the timing, but that's okay. It wants to go.
Keep going. Oh, I know it does. I know. Nothing would be funner than just to stomp the shit out of them. I know. You can just feel that there's a whole throttle ahead of you.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of pedal.
Yeah. The 71 to 74 B bodies are a really nice driver. They may be the best driver of all the cars they build. I was saying, I think it's running a little bit rich. That might be loading those plugs just a little bit. So if they may have a jet for that.
Yeah, when my buddy looked at the video of it running, the exhaust coming out and that, he actually said it looked like it was running rich.
Yeah, I think it is too. I mean, if that doesn't fix it, I'll put a 750 back on it like you sent it with. Because they just don't perform as well. As far as balls out, stomp it, perform, you're going to get it out of this, but you also don't want it to pop every time you step on the gas.
Yeah, it feels great.
But it sure does feel nice, doesn't it?
Really,
That's
really
great.
nice.
Yeah, Royal did the alignment on it. He's been doing them forever and does a great job. Yeah, it doesn't feel weird. There's no rattles.
Dead straight.
Overall, I think it was very, very successful and a very happy owner.
I didn't
And-
get to ride in it.
No, you don't need to ride in it. You didn't paint it.
I cleaned it.
You didn't paint it. Yeah. Boy, it sure feels like it pulls like a.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't feel like no boat anchor.
No. Okay.
Oh, yeah, my dad would like this car. He's gone now, but he's looking down, and the dad on the hood looks great. It's just perfect size, perfect color. Enough that you can see it, and it'll raise some questions and some good stories about the car and the reason there is the car. He does like it. It's not a matter of if he would like it. He does like it, so.
So we got the car outside this morning and all warmed up. That's why you hear the fan running in the background. It's cooling down the radiator. All systems are go. Murray's on his way over right now from the motel to take final delivery of the car and head up north with it. It's a neat car,
Sounds good.
It sounds really
got a
good.
great sound.
Got a hell of a nice cam in it. His buddy built the engine. We just kind of assembled it, put it together. But whoever built it really did a good job because it revs like a small block. Well, my friend, you have waited a long journey for this moment.
Yeah, look at her. She's worth it.
You're gonna have a lot of fun on that car.
Yeah, it's just been a long road. I just can't believe it's actually here the day I get to take her home and start using her and driving her and enjoying her. It's been a long, long time, but it's really worth it. Any tiny little things I found, I mentioned to them, they fixed it right up. There was never an issue with quality. It's all been done top notch, really, really well.
You're a good man.
All right,
Thanks,
buddy.
Murray. Keep in touch, all right? Don't
No,
wreck it.
will.
Don't be silly. I know you got that
will.
lead foot.
I've had speeding tickets before. It's not a big deal. Just got to be polite when you get them. That way they don't tow your car. So.
Always open the door for the ladies. Make sure.
Well, then you should get in first.
Well, you gotta be coming at the brother like that now.
Oh, yeah, we'll burn some rubber getting out of here for sure. It's all good.
You look good in there, buddy. You're looking sexy.
Looks nice, man.
That's a panty dropper right there.
Got to do the seatbelt.
Not that you care up in Canada about
Can
that.
you just keep your
dropper, eh?
panties on? I don't want to know about them. All right, guys. Have a good
All
one.
right, take care. Nutcase, piece of lunatic. He'll be dead in a week.
That car's not, he's crazy, isn't he?
Well, you gotta do that. That's just part of the car, right? They don't call them muscle cars for nothing.
See you in a week.
See you later, man.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. Terrorize all the neighbors.
Dear God. I think it's a 25-mile-an-hour residential area
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Well, and it's a new motor.
With the Charger out of sight, the ghouls have a moment to catch their breath. Over the last 13 weeks, a lot has been accomplished. Work is nearly complete on the one-of-one 1969 Hemi Roadrunner convertible. Bill Goldberg was given a jackhammer reveal for his stunning 1968 GTX convertible. And soon after, Brett Torino's ultra-rare one-of-7 1967 Hemi GTX convertible was finished and delivered. All the while, the car that started it all, our legendary 1971 Phantom Cuda, received its first coat of paint and a newly built-out, date-correct engine, making it the first time in 30 years that this car has had a running motor under its shaker hood. And to top it off, our gold 1972 Charger's first test drive went flawlessly and was delivered to yet another happy customer.
Couldn't just jump in.
Yeah, she
and
hung out
saw
with
it.
Lou Albano, had the rubber band stuck through his cheek. Remember that?
Whoa,
That was
whoa,
always
whoa,
weird.
what are you guys doing? It's like
Doing
you're
the
getting
same thing we're
started
supposed
without
to be.
me.
We are getting started without you because you were
Why?
supposed to be. Murray just took off. You.
Wait, you guys already done the test drive?
Oh, phooey on you, you crazy looking.
But don't worry, this isn't the end. In fact, we're just getting warmed up.
We have some deadlines coming up that are worrisome for any shop owner.
It's do or die time. I mean, we're either gonna get these cars done on time or we're not.
The deadlines, I'm sure, are going to be tighter. We got a whole graveyard full of cars.
The body shop is really kind of our bottleneck right now at Graveyard Cars. They need some direction. They need some, well, frankly, they need a little pick-me-up, you know what I'm saying? A little motivation. Lesson adjourned. I'll be dialing the body in the paint shop area.
We'll be back with more Mopar madness and the rarest, most popular Mopar muscle cars to ever leave the factory, including an exclusive look at history in the making as we bring you Operation Firepower. Stay tuned. The next 13 episodes are just around the corner. The restoration will be televised only on Graveyard Cars.